You're listening to the Hustle Inspires Hustle podcast. Here, we'll help you unlock the secrets of entrepreneurship and self-development. This is your host, Alex Quinn. I'm a full-stack marketing executive and global keynote speaker. Get ready to get real-world knowledge from top-level entrepreneurs and world-class business leaders.
Hey guys, Randy Zuckerberg here.
Hi everyone, it's Neil Patel, and you're listening to Hustle Inspires Hustle.
This is the motherfucking CEO, Andy Frisella. You're listening to Hustle Inspires Hustle with Alex Quinn.
Become an authority and thought leader in your niche. Join a free private community of entrepreneurs and professionals looking to grow their business and optimize their performance. Get easy to learn resources and materials that empower your personal and financial success. Easily accessible for free on desktop and mobile app. Go to hustleinspireshustle.com/app to access now. That's hustleinspireshustle.com/app. Enjoy the rest of the episode. What's going on, everyone? This is Alex Quinn, and you're listening to the Hustle Inspires Hustle podcast. On today's episode, we have Elena Cardone, author of Build an Empire, businesswoman, public speaker, host of Women in Power, investor. Elena, what's going on?
Oh, it's a great day over here in Miami now that I'm on this show, Hustle Inspires Hustle. See, you've inspired my hustle. Thanks for having me on.
No, thank you. I love your background. That's amazing. I'm in Miami too, but I'm on the west side right now. I'm in Weston, but that background is amazing. I love the setup. I love how far you guys go in your branding. Much respect for everything that you do. And thank you so much for taking the time to be here today. I know things are crazy right now around the world, and any minute right now is gold for our listeners to be able to apply some actionable items into their life, into their business. And what better experience than what you have right now? I thought it was so amazing once, I got to know you, and once I started consuming content that you were putting out and everything that you and Grant are doing. So I said, we have to get him on the podcast. The team worked really hard to get you on. We've been back and forth. Your team has been amazing. So thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here.
Yay. Great. Awesome.
So listen, you're either creating an empire or destroying one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So talk to me about that.
Well, it's a concept or an epiphany that I had one day. Well, I've been operating under this empire, grandiose sort of way of thinking for a number of years. But aside from all of that, I had the epiphany one day that you're either creating your empire or you're destroying one with every decision that you make. So that goes when you really can break it down and help you on a daily basis think. From anything from as simple as, if I eat this dessert, is it going towards the creating or the destroying? Or, hey, if I continue to participate in this mindless argument with my partner, am I really creating the empire or am I destroying here? And when you can really start to look and analyze from the little decisions to the big decisions, or, like with everything, okay, is this strip club creating or destroying in my marriage, in my relationship? Is this financial decision here going to create or harm? Every single thing starts to get put in perspective. When you know your mission, when you have your purpose so big and you know your mission and you have your vision and you want to achieve something so badly, then when you start to analyze, look, am I creating to get there, or am I going to be holding myself back? Am I taking 2 steps forward and 4 steps back by this decision? You can start really being able to utilize discipline or ethics and put them in on yourself to make the choice that's going to be the one that's going to be more survival for you and your empire and everyone involved in it.
Now, that mindset and that way of thinking doesn't always come naturally to people. I'm sure that, and I saw one of your keynotes. I believe it was at 10X where you were talking about where it came to a point where you realized, hey, I'm kind of going against this. I need to work towards building this rather than maybe complain or get in the way or have a certain way of feeling about it. Was there a catalyst in your life where you realized, hey, I'm not thinking about things the right way? Was it a book? Was it a person? Was it an experience that started shaping your mind to think this way?
Yeah. Prior to the 2008 economic collapse at that time, that financial collapse, I had been operating in my marriage as an independent woman because that's the way I was raised. I was raised to be this independent woman. I had to do everything myself. No one was going to control me, boss me, whatever. And I didn't realize that when I was in my marriage, we were the first 4 years into my marriage, I didn't realize I had brought that into the marriage. So what ended up happening is for the first 4 years of our marriage, yes, we were married, but I was still operating independently. We were fighting each other, mostly over power positions. Everyone wants to be the boss, or not everyone, but everyone I know wants to be the boss. We're both powerful people. I'm this woman, and I ended up fighting him over this male-female thing that I had ingrained in me. When 2008 happened, we were on the verge of losing everything financially with Grant's business. My business, as I knew it, was completely over. I was an actress. I was pregnant with our first child. There were no jobs coming in for me at that time. So I really had to look at that moment where I stand. Do I trade in my acting career in order to support my husband, who was further down the field and had a better shot of protecting us and getting us out of this? Or really, what were my choices? And so it was a really terrifying choice for me as a woman at that time, because I was really afraid that all women everywhere were going to hate me because I gave up everything to support a man, and how stupid am I, and blah, 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 blah. But at some point I realized, who are these imaginary women that are going to kick me out of the women's club? Do they even exist? Right. And if they do, well, then, oh, well, because here's a man that I'm married, that I'm committed to, that I'm about to have my first child with. And I have to do what's best for me and my family right now, and not care what these imaginary women were going to think about me. And that was the birth of the empire concept. We had been thinking too small. That's why we were able to be so financially devastated at that time. We hadn't gone big enough. We had been operating at normal levels of action. We thought we were normal, and that's all that was needed. But the problem with normal is that normal is so dangerous because it makes you think everything is fine until it's not. And that's the situation we found ourselves in. We hadn't built up reserves in abundance of confidence, of finances, of ethics, of courage, of discipline, of grit, and all of that stuff. Since that has happened, we had to build up the coffers and make ourselves abundant in all areas of our lives, professionally, financially, and personally. So we've been building for the last 10 years with each other, side by side, as a team. We figured out in our relationship who gets to be the boss of what department based on our strengths and weaknesses, not based on male, female, based on strengths and weaknesses, who does what. We figure out how to divide and conquer because we are both working towards the same goal, our couple's goal. I have my individual goal and I have the couple's goal. And the couple's goal is to reach certain levels of success. I want to help him reach heightened levels of success. He wants to help me reach my heightened levels of success. So we work very well together, stop fighting each other, because now I get to be the boss of my area.
Yeah.
My area is not working. I know what I have to do to fix it. He stays off my back and vice versa. And that little thing, that little tip that we did in our relationship was the catalyst that got us almost overnight. Not really, takes time. But hypothetically, that's the thing that kicked us up into the upper stratosphere that people aren't doing. But if they did, they would reach heightened levels of success faster. They would be fast-tracked to success.
Hey, I just wanted to jump in real quick to tell you about how to train yourself in organization, balancing your priorities, developing successful habits, and most importantly, having a better mindset. I'm giving free access to resources and materials on business management and self-development. Go to hustleinspireshustle.com/app to get access. That's hustleinspireshustle.com/app. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter at Hustle Inspires Hustle. Okay, let's get back into the episode.
Oh my God. It was dreadfully painful for me. I never liked school. I don't like sitting still. Never really considered myself a smart person. So I had a lot of resistance. Every single temptation and urge to find an excuse to bail out of doing this project, definitely, like, I was confronted with that. Like, where is this really going to go? How, I wanted to invalidate myself the entire time, so I wouldn't have to have the discipline to sit in front of a computer to write it. So it was a grueling experience for me. However, I did it. I now have a confidence in myself that no one can take away from me. Yeah. And not only that, but this book has provided a lot of people with some really applicable knowledge that has helped them in their own lives. And the reward of that made all of my painful experience worth it tenfold. And if I might do a slight brag, today on USA Today, this book right here was recommended as the top 20 books to read during quarantine. So big thank you to USA Today. Had no idea that was happening. I haven't really gone on a mass promotion of this book, but something like that is a tremendous reward and validation for doing what you set out to do and accomplishing a mission. So
yeah, and the beautiful thing about what you did there and creating content that educates people, and Grant does it as well with his books and a lot of his accomplishments, is you're creating content that's educating others to be their better selves in whatever subject they're learning, but you're also learning about yourself a lot, because you just said it right now. It took a lot of mental discipline, a lot of mental toughness to get this done, to push it out and to put your, like, it's vulnerable, right? It's your words, it's your thoughts. It's like, this is what goes on in my mind. Let me put that into a book. It's not easy to be vulnerable like that.
No, it's not. I mean, I really, I'm more of a behind the scenes person, at least in this area of my life, not when I was an actress, but so I'm very private. I don't like to talk about myself, but in this book, I revealed some really private places, but I felt it was important to let people in and understand the whole process and journey and be relatable to them. And so thank you for recognizing that.
Yeah, of course. Now, one of the things I really like to talk a lot about is routine, right? I believe that building good habits and stacking good habits are ultimately what lead you to be successful, however you define success. Do you have a special routine you follow on a daily basis? And if not a routine, do you have a set of habits that you like to stick to that remind you about your core values or what you're trying to do for yourself and with your partner?
1,000,000% for myself. I'm very disciplined. I'm rarely motivated, but I use discipline to push through when the motivation doesn't hit me, like maybe it hits others. I don't know. So yeah. I'm very disciplined. I make sure that I beat the sun up. My feet hit the floor every morning, 6 a.m., whether I like it or not. I'm either self-enhancing, like myself. Right now, I'm re-listening to the 10X rule on audio. I'm back on Cardone University. I'm training. I have a whole thing and a new division that I'm running. So I need to have that training. Usually, I'm not doing that. Usually, I wake up and the first thing I do is I'm training martial arts. And which is another thing that I have to overcome mentally. And, and then that gets me physically taking care of myself and in a good frame of mind. And I think it's so connected to how the business world works. And so I'm always working on structure. I make sure I drink my gallon of water throughout the entire day. I have my vitamins that I take, et cetera, et cetera. So yes, I have myself on a program and a schedule that includes self-enhancement. It includes working out. It includes me taking care of myself. And I do that because for a number of reasons. One, it gives me confidence in myself. that, and also it practices and implements my discipline. And, you know, when you can do something consistently over a long period of time, you will have confidence in yourself. You will have belief in yourself that when you say you're going to do something, you can trust yourself that it will get done. Eventually, you'll do that so much that other people will believe you when you say you're going to do something. You continue to do it over a long enough period of time, the universe listens to you. The universe is like, oh, the chick says she's going to be $1 billion, rather than laughing in your face and being like, oh God, this visionary pipeline dreamer. Everyone, including the universe, goes, you know what? She's going to do it. I'm going to step out of her way because she's too tough to fight. I'm going to go pick on this person and give them a whole bunch of problems because she's too hard. You know, I don't want to fight her. And that's how I operate. And that's how I think.
Yeah, and you know, it's also like in a position like yourself where you are your own boss and where you make the decisions you want to make on a daily basis about where to take your business or career. In positions like that, if you're not very disciplined, it's easy to fall into a bad cycle because you have, for example, you have nobody over you telling you do this, do that, micromanaging you. You are your own boss. So your actions on a daily basis, your small habits dictate the type of person you're going to be moving forward, because you're essentially watching over yourself. And that's a lot of problems that people were having over the last few months, specifically during quarantine, when they found themselves at home. I talked to a lot of people that told me that they found a difficulty in staying consistent with their routine, with their schedule, or getting their work done, because all of a sudden you find yourself at home in your PJs. Do I wake up early? Do I sit on my desk? Do I sit in the living room? Do I sit in the office? Do I stay in my PJs? Do I shower? Do I not shower? Like, you need to keep healthy routines going, because those healthy routines, like you said, will encourage you, because once you get something done that you said you were going to do, the self-assurance that you get from that, the confidence that you get from that is amazing. But not only that, you're going to start attracting people that recognize that. And once you get to the level where you're attracting people that recognize your success in actions and in habits and in what you say you're going to do, then you start having a better ecosystem. And the better ecosystem that you're in, now everybody starts to win together. That's why, and that's why I think it's really cool that you guys do such a good job at training the people that work around you, at creating content that they could consume so they could replicate successful actions. I've talked to many people that have worked directly inside your team, and one of the things that always stays with them is repeat successful actions, repeat successful actions, repeat successful actions, because ultimately, if you stick to that, you are going to face difficult times no matter what. That's how life is going to be. But as long as you have a strong foundation, you're going to have something really good to fall back on when you have a hard time.
1,000,000%. I loved everything you said. I agree with it wholeheartedly. I have one little thing that I was going to say is that everyone has a boss. And if you are your own boss is your purpose. When you're hooked in and aligned with your purpose so deeply, and you're so connected to your purpose is going to hold you accountable. Your purpose is going to make your feet hit the floor. I am too little-minded to be my own boss, because I will let myself off the hook, no problem. But when I'm committed to others, my purpose, I want to improve the value of women in society. That makes me have to become a better asset and help more women. When I want to restore the value of the family dynamic and relationships on the planet, like I'm working, I'm doing podcasts, I'm writing books, I'm writing a men's manual, like all these things are there driving me. Is the boss over me? When your purpose is so big, you know, for the world to achieve financial literacy and financial success, which is Grant's mission, which is my mission. Like, I'm driven every single day to try to get his message out to, or help facilitate him getting his message out. So that is my boss, because so the people in my empire, I work for them. I don't work for myself. If I worked for myself, I would stay in PJs and probably not shower and binge watch every episode on Netflix, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd pick the same thing. Elena, I appreciate your time in speaking to us today. Tell us, where can we find your content? Where can we consume your content? get to know you, understand more about you? What are the best platforms to connect?
You can consume a lot of my content at elenacardone.biz. If you want just a kind of general idea of everything that I do and what I have to offer, go to elenacardone.com. But if you really want training or access to my online university or access to all the podcasts I've done or Women in Powers or G&Es, and you really want to consume a lot of content, go to elenacardone.biz.
There you go, guys. You heard it. This is Alex Quin, Elena Cardone. Hustle inspires hustle. See you on the next episode.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Hustle Inspires Hustle podcast. I'd appreciate it if you could share, leave a review, and subscribe to the show. Visit hustleinspireshustle.com/app for more free resources, event invitations, and online courses to empower your personal and financial success. Learn about marketing, finances, business development, branding, strategic partnerships, and much more. If you're looking to further connect, check me out on Instagram or LinkedIn at Alex Quin. That's ALEXQUIN. See you on the next episode.